We're holding Siman Tuf Ayin Beis. Sif.
What page is it?
The page is Shin Samach Zayin. Shin Samach Zayin.
Let's continue from Sunday.
Yeah, but it's annoying. The last line. Anyways, last Sunday we spoke about the Yin of Haseba, leaning. We said you're supposed to lean by Afikoimen, Koidech, Matzah, Koidech, Afikoimen, and Daled Kosos. Not by, you don't have to lean by mother, because it's not an Yin of Geula, Cherus. You don't have to do that at Cherus. Lepoil, Me'ikar Hadin, if one did not do Haseba, one should have to redo it again. But since the Shita and Rishonim, the Shita that Aviyah, the Eliezer ben Yoel Halevi, which he held that since in our countries no one does Haseba, even the Malachim and the Gedolim don't do Haseba, so we don't need to do Haseba anymore. So we rely on that Shita, B'diavad, that you don't have to be Chayzer to go back and do Haseba. However, it's toiv, it's best to be machmir in two areas regarding the second kois and matzah. The second kois and matzah. It's kazayis matzah. To eat it again. Meikar that you don't have to, because we're saying machmir b'diavad, but toiv to be machmir by those two. The reason why it's only the second kois is because you're not supposed to add to the 4 cups. You're supposed to only have 4 cups of wine tonight. Now, you're allowed to drink wine during the meal. If you want to drink some wine during the meal, you enjoy the wine, it's okay. Because you're not making a Beir Piyagafen on it. Since you're not making a Beir Piyagafen, it doesn't seem like you're adding to the Miyan HaKoises. You still have Daled Kosos that you said Beir Piyagafen. What my say is, after the first kois, let's say you forgot to do Haseba, you do it again, you're going to have to say another Beir Piyagafen. Why? Because you're not planning on drinking. You were not planning on drinking anymore. Your mind, your das was only to drink this cup. So from the halachas, abichas, and the brachas, you're not allowed to drink again another cup unless you make another Beir Piyagafen. Make another Beir Piyagafen, it's like you add another kois, and you have 5 cups tonight. By shaking the second cup, when you made a Beir Piyagafen in the second cup, you were subconsciously moitzi any wine you're going to drink during the meal, just like kiddush. Once you make kiddush on the suda, you don't need to make another Beir Piyagafen on any wine which you drink during the meal, because you have the kiddush as moitzi.
Only if there's wine, better wine or something like that.
Well, that's hatoiva ameitiv. And so l'maisa. So the second cup, you don't have to say another Beir Piyagafen again.
Because you have in wine.
So if you drink b'lei haseba, you're allowed to drink another cup. Drink another cup, so you could be toiv to machar by the second cup, because you're not going to have to say a Beir Piyagafen, there won't be an issue. Between the third and the fourth, you're not supposed to drink b'chalal. Between the third and the fourth. It's after you benched, after you had dafi koiman, you're not supposed to drink anyway. So that's why you don't do over those cups, the third and fourth cups. The first cup, there is an eitzah. The Alter Rebbe says you have an eitzah. This is the eitzah. That before you drink the first cup, you have in mind that if I forget to lean, I'm going to drink another cup, so I won't have to make a Beir Piyagafen. But you have to remember to do that, right? Al Kopanim, if you forget, someone who can't do it again, he doesn't have to do anything again. If you're able to, you do the second cup and the first kazayis maitzi, if you did the vaseba, and the first cup you have. If you have this chap, you're able to make it up. If not, you're not able to make it up.
I was reading that when the Rebbe made a little shoulder by the Frierdiker Rebbe house upstairs. So by the meal, some people pick up the cup and told the Rebbe, Chaim, whatever. The Rebbe ignored it. That even this little thing, you shouldn't think that it's a...
So the story happened, but it was a little different. I heard from people that were there. What happened was that after the Rebbe was Rebbe and he was leading the Seder, so Maisa, one of the older Chassidim, and he was the Rav and Beis Rav, Shmuel Levitin, he noticed that the Rebbe always in general, by all the Yom Tov meals were eaten together in the Alter Rebbetzins, the Frierdiker's apartment. The Chassidim would join, there were certain guests, the older Chassidim were allowed to sit on the table, it was a million of people. The Rebbetzins ate in the kitchen, And other Hasidim stood around the table to listen in to what was happening, watch, listen to the Torah. The Maisi is the Rebbe would, there's an Ingan you're supposed to drink between the fish and the meat. The fish and the soup, the meat courses. So the Rebbe would always say l'chaim on his becher, say l'chaim by the Yom Tif meals after the fish course. Maisi, he noticed that the first night of the Seder, the Rebbe didn't do that. He took a drink. He drank wine. He drank wine in between to be mafsik.
But he didn't say l'chaim.
on it. The next day, by the day meal, he saw the Rebbe saying l'chaim. The next night by the Seder, again, the Rebbe did not say. So he realized it's dafke. It's not a pes. So by the Seder, by the meal, he asked the Rebbe, "What's the saying of this?" And the Rebbe said that similar to what it says here, but not mamish. But the fact that you say l'chaim on the cup gives a chshivas to the cup. It's not just I'm drinking wine; it's saying l'chaim.
So you're adding up a cup.
So it's like you're giving a chshivas to another cup, but you're not supposed to give any chshivas to another cup aside from the Daled Kosos.
That's what happened.
Agav, you see how much saying l'chaim by the Rebbe was not just l'chaim. L'chaim was something. Saying l'chaim on a kois, so it's a chashav thing. So for the Rebbe, it was like, it's not something that says clearly in Shachanah. This is a hiddur. It's not. Okay. Sif you test. The bottom, the last line should something.
Don't add cups.
Only if you're saying a Bailey Piyah Gofen on it.
Right.
Saying l'chaim doesn't say such a shita. You're not allowed to say l'chaim. It's not a halacha. You're not going to, one time ask someone, he said, you're not going to find such a shita. But the Rebbe was machmir. Maybe there's something out there, but. It's not we have decided we have to be machmir this. I'm saying this is in Shulchan it's making a better piyah gofen. That was the Rebbe's hanhaga. Yesh Eimer. Now, before we read the Sif, you have to understand. There's a machlekes. It's a four-way machlekes. How much of the kois of the Daled Kosos do you have to drink? In Shulchan there's 3 shittas brought. If you look at the Rishonim, there are 4 shittas brought. The 4 shittas are either you drink a revius, like Kiddush and Havdalah. How much you have to drink by Kiddush and by Havdalah, by other situations, you have to drink at least any koshel bracha, you have to drink roiv revius, majority of a revius, which is called malay lumav, cheekful, majority of a revius. So let's say your shi revius is 4 ounces, so you're going to drink 2.1 ounces. You don't have to drink the whole cup, not majority of the cup. Roiv revius. Another sheet in Rishonim is you have to drink a revius by Daled Kosos. A third sheet is drink roiv kois, majority of the cup. Fourth shita is to drink the entire cup. Maisa is that shita that holds that you have to drink revius is not brought in Shulchan Aruch. So it's either the whole cup, kol hakois, roiv hakois, or just like any kiddush. Throughout the whole year, you just have to drink roiv of a revius. Now, what's the yisoid behind the machlekes? What are they really arguing about? Just they chose numbers. They have a machlekes, a shita. The machlekes is: do we say the Daled Kosos, the Chazal were masakin on the night of Pesach? Is it just the same like kiddush? Chacham said, make 4 koises shel bracha. Any kois we should say a bracha on. Birchas Hamazon, Havdalah, Kiddush, they all have the same status. There's different dinim applicable to it. It should be pogum, it should be a complete cup, it should be full to the top. You have all these different halachas. Some of them are hiddur, mitzvah mufcher, but they're all the same for all the koisha shabracha. Is Daled Kosos just the same, just we should have it 4 times? So you have to treat it the same as Kiddush. Just Rei Revius, and that's it. You don't have to drink your whole cup. So what mahalach? The other mahalach is the other 2 shitas that are brought in the Shulchan Aruch. Roiv case and Kol case are going with a whole different shita. They hold Chazal the night of Pesach did not say that we should make a bracha on a kois. It's not the ikar. That we should make kiddush on a kois, say the Haggadah on a kois. That's not. There's another. It's true. You're supposed to say kiddush on the kois. You're supposed to pick up your cup and say the bracha shegalalo, say Haggadah on the kois. We pour it after the Manashtana. We pour it to say Avodah. We say the whole Haggadah over the kois. We say Berachas Hamazon on the kois. We say Halal at the ending of the kois. It's not only that there's a different additional aspect. Chazal wanted us to drink cups. Daled Kosos, not a revius. Chazal wanted us to drink 4 cups compared to the 4 L'Shon Shel Geula. Other places it says, Yushalmi, that it's connected to 4 cups of revenge that Hashem's going to pour on Parei. Different symbolism. But Maisa, it's an Ian of Kosos, not an Ian of drinking Revivi. It's an Ian you should drink the cup. You should actually have 4 cups tonight. 4 cups, so you got to drink the whole cup. Now, the other Shita says, you should drink the whole cup. But, B'chlal, we find in Torah, Roiv, Rubi Kekulei. Roiv, it's to like the whole. You shech the behemoth. The sheikha doesn't have to shech both samanim, both pipes, all the way through. Roiv, majority is enough. Roiv. So the same thing here. Roiv HaKois, Rubi is Kekulei. And Echanami, you have to drink Kulei. But Rubi is Kekulei. So those 2 shitas are really going to the same mahalach. That you need to Chazal or Mechayev tonight, not just to make a bracha on the kois, which that would only obligate you just to drink a roiv revius of it. Chazal will require of you to drink the whole cup, majority of the cup, because you have to drink cups tonight. And Lamaisa, based on that, will become a very big nafkamina. Depending on how big your cup is. If your cup is a minimum shear of a revius, so roiv hakois and roiv revius is synonymous. Because you only have a revius in your cup. So you only have to drink Rav HaKais. It's Rav Revius, let's say only 4 ounces. You have 2.1 ounces. But what happens if your kais has 8 ounces in it? Well, if you drink all 8, or Rav HaKais, 4.1 ounces, right?
Double.
Let's give you examples. So these are the shitas. So let's take a look. Sifu test. Yesh, some say, Shita the Ramban, Shalachatchila, Mitzvah, Lishtes, Kol HaKois. Feel machze kamen revius, even if it contains many revius. Drink the whole thing. Agav, the word revius comes to the word a fourth. A fourth of what? A fourth of a loig. Loig is a certain measurement, times of the Torah. Revius loig is a fourth of a loig. So a fourth of a loig is a shir of revius. Af b'shavik kiddush hashayam tev shabbosis. Afilu chatchila dai b'shiyis b'lei lugmov. Even though the rest of the year, by Kiddush, Yom Tov Shabbos, it's enough to drink a full cheekful. Tahaina, which is, in other words, Reiv Revius, majority of Revius. We call Mokim, Badal Kishal Pesach, Yichimino Chacham, Lishtis Kol HaKois L'Chatchila. Over the Yavish, Shasa Reiv HaKois, Yotza, Yoytza. Al Loi Shasa L'Chatzi HaKois, Afilu shechetzi machzik kamen revius. You drink so many reviusin. Lo yatsa, you're not yotza. Because you're not drinking a cup. Chazal wanted you to drink cups tonight, not reviusin. Drink cups. V'yesh cholk al hazeh. Others are choylik. Other rishonim. They say she'af l'chatchila dai b'shtias reiv revius. No. Even l'chatchila, it's enough to drink reiv or revius just like Kiddush. Even if you have a very large cup, that's the Iker Halacha. Not only is that the Iker Halacha, at the time of the Shulchan Aruch, that was also the Minig. That was a simple Minig, Klal Yisrael, that people wouldn't drink the whole cup. They would take a sip and drink Reiv Revius. Mokim says the Alter Rebbe, brings from Achronim, Toiv Lochel Shesvani Shayla. It's best to be concerned for the first opinion. Buy yourself, take yourself a small cup. You drink the whole thing. Why get yourself into the machlokes? Why get a small cup? In places where the wine is expensive, then you'll drink Reiv. This is all talking about the first 3 cups. And the last cup, you have to drink a full revius, even according to the opinion which is more makel. The reason being, by Kaisha B'chas and Havdalah, since you are not having a meal now, you're not having more wine, by Kiddush, you're Yoitza, Birchas Hamazon, you're benching on the whole entire Suda, including the wine, the pass, and everything you had. But by Birchas Hamazon, you're drinking the cup afterwards. If you drink Rav Avias, it's not always clear. Maybe you did drink a Avias. Yeah, so you have a suffix in your bracha, Birchas Hamazon, in your bracha. So therefore, you should drink clearly a Avias, clear Avias, by Birchas Hamazon and Havdalah. So you can make ala gefen melishum pickbook without any shaylas. So the last kois you have to for sure, even according to the second shita, drink a full revius.
It could be half a cup, but
so therefore, the oilim, it's better for people. It's difficult for people to drink 4 cups. Better for people to take a smaller cup. You don't have to make such a big cup. You know, today the silver stores, they like to make money. People today, you know, in Europe they never had such big cups. People today have these huge bechers and everything. It's very nice and beautiful. Maybe you could put koshel yo. You can give it a yo and it'll be that becher. Well, Maisa, for yourself, if it's too difficult for you, then you should better take a smaller cup. So you can be able to yoy to the sheet to drink the whole cup. Yeah, Sivchaf. So therefore the ladies, Maisa, right? The ladies, that you can make them. Men want to be mahader and drink the whole cup. But the ladies, children, the ladies.
You could buy a becher that is revis, for sure also it is, but
right.
It's small.
Right.
And you drink the whole thing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, very good. If you could do that, that's mamish what the Alter Rebbe says to do. This comes from the Achreinu, the Bach, the Magen Avram.
If you want to drink more, after the second cup, go ahead and drink more.
Yeah. You could switch around different bechers for different cases.
My husband told me that his Zaidi told him that in Russia they made the wine by himself. You know, very, very strong. After we never said about the 4th cup, they were drunk, really drunk.
Yeah, things that are different. You see the yayin chayid, and you have to be moizik it.
3 ounces.
There's a limit to how strong you can make wine. I mean, I never understood that.
Well, they have ways in the wine companies how to
unless you
control it.
Unless you add on alcohol from somewhere else. But
you're not supposed to add it.
The wine that's made, people make homemade wine. It's very strong.
What counts?
Okay, but
They don't know how to control it like the people that are the professional winemakers.
I'm saying even if you don't control it, there's only a certain amount of.
Yeah, obviously. I'm not bucking it, but when I learned the yeshiva in Montreal had some issue. I don't remember what it was with selling kosher wine there.
You're not allowed to. Only the government.
The issue is spirits, right?
Only the government.
Only government sells wine there?
Yeah. No other stores but government. Government store.
So why can the government buy kosher wine?
Let's say I want to come to Montreal and want to buy a box of wine over here to bring my son. I can't.
Yeah, I don't remember the rule, but there was something there. We were not allowed to have it. We never had regular wine.
Right.
So there were there are families there. Well, either they bring from New York maybe or something, but there were families there.
Kedem has 2 or 3 bottles that they sell, and that's it.
So when I was there were different private families that made wine and would sell it to people. They made their own private wine.
Yeah.
The yeshiva would always have wine. It was like in these orange juice bottles and these milk bottles, and that was the wine that we made for Kiddush. It did not taste too good. Let me tell you.
It's Mushkin wine.
I don't remember where it came from, but I don't think it was from the Muchkin family. But the Maisa was. It did not taste good. It was really strong wine, and it did not taste good. You have to know what you're doing when you're making wine. It's not.
Nowadays, small becher with it's no problem, even for women.
Bichlal, it used to be on the top of the wine. You were able to have those bubbles and the foam. You don't have it today. They know everything how to do with the wine. It's all perfected. They put sulfites in it, which is a chemical which keeps the alcohol to the level that they want. You'll see on the bottles, grape juice bottles, it contains sulfites. They don't want it to ferment. They put sulfites into the wine. They have different ways how they control it. Sivchaf. Tzarech lizar l'chatchil lishtes reiv revius v'vasachas. L'chatchila, one should endeavor to drink majority of the revius and one shot.
What does it mean? To swallow it?
Tahainu, sheyish dois b'shti achas lo yafsiken lo shtei shtes. Drink it straight, not to like take a break and drink some more. L'chatchila, try to drink roiv of a revius, not the whole cup. Roiv of a revius, and one shot. Therefore, in likach koi shepiv tsar, kein shekoin kluglas. There was this kluglas, a smart glass, that had a narrow mouth at the top, so it was very small. So it wasn't easy
Like
to
a
drink
bottle,
it.
you drink small.
Ve'shele yochel lishtes revi'is of asachas. But for the Yaved, I feel he's a kam from Memsiata. The Yaved, even if you stopped many times, you're right. However, you can't wait that a long period of time, because waiting a number of minutes, you can have a hefsek. It's not going to be considered one drink together. It's not going to be mitzaref combined the two times you drink. You should not wait from the first sip to the last sip. Yoisim more than mikidei achilas pras, than the eating of a pras. The yeshemim shetzareh shel yishim itchila shtia shein atzayv shtia achron yoisim yishis levias. So the shaila, how we judge it? Do we go by eating the same period of eating? You say you have to eat the matzah, let's say within 6 minutes. You say you also have 6 minutes to drink down your cup.
Revi's wine.
Revi's wine. Or, no, Revi's yain has its own shear. It's the shear of how long it takes to drink Revi's yain, which is very short.
Seconds.
Should be concerned for the latter opinion in regards to the first 2 cups. If you made it a long enough hefsek to have for the first sip, though the ending of the last sip was more than the time it takes to drink Revi'is, so the last of delicious oisei kois beloy bracha, without a bracha. Shnei kois harishonim, the first 2 cups, the last 2 cups, if you will have to drink again, you'll have to make a beir piagafen, and it will seem like you're adding onto the main kaisis. You should lie in the first opinion that you have much longer time to drink it. It took you longer the time to eat chilas pras, which is around 6 minutes, according to many shittas. There are many different shittas what the shear is, which is it's not really more negaya for matzah than for revi'is.
Also by the matzah, they ask you to eat so much matzah in one shot. It's mamish not shaykh.
Yeah, it's not shaykh today. The matzah is what the Shulchan Aruch says. This brings 3 different levels how to eat the matzah. We don't do any of them. The minig of the oilam is not to do any of them. We have a different minig. The way the Shulchan Aruch says to eat the matzah is this is what you're supposed to do, basically something which is like today kamat impossible. There's a shayla, there's a suffix, which bracha goes on which, the hamaitzi or the achilas matzah, does it go on the top matzah or the middle matzah? Shayla, which one? So you don't want to be mafsik between the two, so you're supposed to break up each matzah and put the kazayis, both kazayis in your mouth at the same moment, vasachas. Now, you're not supposed to mix them together. You should put one on one cheek, and one on the other cheek, chew them on each separate sides of your mouth, and then swallow whole each one separately as a kazai. So this is like a real feat. I had a guy in Koilab once who said that a Zayda tried it and in Krai Chabad, in Eretz Yisrael, and the Hatzal had to be called. So not something to be done.
He doesn't fit.
Mamais, it's not really shy. Shulchan Aruch already itself says that this is very difficult. And so this is called a mitzvah and a movcher, the best way to do the mitzvah. The next level is, since most people can't do it, is also something which is still quite difficult for us, is you should eat the 2 kazaisim separately. Take the kazais from the shleima, the top matzah, and eat that, chew that first, and swallow it whole. Swallow the whole kazais matzah entirely one shot. Just like we do by the wine. Drinking the revi'ah straight, swallow it straight. And then do the prusa, the middle matzah, kazayis, and swallow it straight. If you can't do that, says Alter Rebbe, take a kazayis for any matzah, the middle or the top matzah. The prusa is called, the middle one is the one that you broke by yachas, it's called the prusa, it's broken. The prusa or the shleima, and eat it whatever way you eat without swallowing. Lamaisa, we don't do that. The meaning of the whole Welt is that we take the two top matzah and the middle matzah, we put them right on top of each other, or kazayis from each, and we eat them straight. There are many different discussions as to why we do different than the Shulchan Aruch, and one of the svaras basically is that Eina Chanami, there's two issues over here. The mitzvah of Mofchar says to put them both in your mouth at the same time and to swallow each one independently, each kazayis. What's the reason for it? There's really two separate yadim here that we're trying to be yoitz. One thing it is that you don't want to make a hefsek between the two matzahs. So you want to put them in your mouth at the same time. So we do that by putting the two on top of each other, and we put them in our mouth at the same time, the top matzah and the middle matzah, the shleim and the prusa. So we're not making a hefsek between one and the other. We took a bite, initial bite from both together. However, there's another aspect. There's an inyan that says, Shainim to Sadesh and Shainim, just like over here we see by wine, there's an inyan then to show that you're having a taiva for the matzah, the inyan to swallow the whole kazayis together. To swallow it, that you're having then people were able to do it. They knew how to eat then.
It doesn't fit.
Maybe the kazayis are smaller.
Well, we have a svar how they did it then. It's true. Explain a little bit how they did it. So the ma'aseh is we can't swallow together b'vasachas. So whatever it says in Shulchan Aruch, we can't really kind whatever it says in Shulchan Aruch.
But the wine we could do it, but not.
So what we could do is like this: instead of swallowing in one shot the kazayis, we can't do. Putting them both in our mouth in one shot, still so much matzah. We do is we put them both in our mouth at the same time. We bite together, constantly biting together from all of them together, and we never made a hefsek in the two brachas. We can't be yoitza eating a whole thing of hasachas. We can't do it. So we do our best. And the best thing, even better than what it says in Shulchan Aruch, it tells you that first step is to put both in your mouth at the same time and put them and keep them on separate sides and swallow them b'vasachas. So you had putting in b'vasachas in your mouth, and you swallowed it, each one of vasachas, each kazais. You put two kazaisim in the same time, and you swallow one side of the cheek, on the other. But vasachas we can't do at all. In Shulchan Aruch, all the options that are given, all the three have to do a swallowing of vasachas. Option 2 in Shulchan Aruch is, if you can't do both, do first the shleima, chew the whole shleima. When it's fully chewed, swallow it in one shot. We can't do that. And then do the prusa. We can't do that. The third eighth is, whichever matzah you take first, the b'diavad, whether it's the prusa or the shleima, and you chew it b'vasachas, you swallow it down, you eat the b'diavad. We don't swallow vasachas. Can't do it. So we at least try to endeavor that we put them both on top of each other, so we're not making mafsik between the two, the higher matzah, whatever. But a person who's taking from the box, by the way, does not have a kaira in front of him, has no inyan to take two kazesim, b'chlal. The whole inyan of taking two kazesim is because of this machlokes, whether the bracha of achilas matzah is going on the top matzah or the bottom matzah. B'tzad hamaitzi, to make hamaitzi, all you need is a little piece. To make hamaitzi, just a little. You can't eat something with a little al-masha without making hamaitzi. If you want to eat it for hana, so you want to eat, you have to make not just being toyim, you have to make a bracha on it, a mashu. But the bracha achilas matzah is the mitzvah of the night, the kazayis of the night. Better teichel matzahs. We're not sure if that's the top matzah. It's a machlokes if it's the shleima or the broken matzah, the prusa. So therefore, we eat both. But that's only if you have in front of you three matzahs. You have a kaira, and you have the suffix. But someone who's taking from the box, he doesn't have a kaira in front of them. Whoever it might be, a man, a woman, is just eating from the box. They just make al chilas matzah and their matzah and eat.
So what happens, let's say you have a whole bunch of people at the Seder. Now, you're taking from the box and you're adding the top and the bottom and from the box because you want to make sure that there's enough for everybody?
Just take from the box. You don't have enough in your kaira. You eat from your kaira. If your wife wants a little piece from your kaira, you give her. You can, if you have enough from your kaira to give her, good. But you definitely don't have enough for the whole family. So the rest of the family doesn't have kairos, has to take from the box. If they want a little piece to make them feel better, a little piece from your kaira, but if it makes them feel part of it more, then adarabah, but it's not, there's no halacha that they have to do it. They don't have a kaira in front of them. The answer really is why it was shaykh and mol, much more shaykh. The matzah was soft. Matzah was not hard. Matzah was like lafas. 300 years ago, Ashkenazim baked matzahs like some of the Sfardim do today. Some Sfardim
Azar.
still do it, right? Rabbi Azar over here is busy with his soft
To
matzahs
us-
every year. He's
To us
making a
would be
special order of his $40 matzah, soft matzahs.
To us is going to be a chametz gam. To them is a matzah.
Yeah, it's not chametz. It's 100% kosher.
To us.
But the way we view, I'm saying, halachically speaking, it's 100% kosher. Just our attitude to it, how we look at it, like well, it's so mufrach to us, so foreign to us that 100%. It's like muksa by us that we don't want to have it. But the mice, it's not really chametz.
That's
It's not chametz, right?
Halacha,
You can't make a bracha al bir chametz on it. It's not chametz. It's 100% kosher. I mean, it has a good. You have to make sure it has a good hashkacha. Everything. Well, the mice is there was one Ashkenazi. One time, it was a maverick. It was in the kashrus, a guy in Australia. He tried to make it with this, right? All the Rabbanim Eretz Yisrael, Vosner, and everyone wrote that even though it's 100% kosher, but it's going against a minig, an early minig from Ashkenazim already 300 years that we don't bake the matzah this way and should not be made. And that's it. Stopped it. No Ashkenazim do it. Not all Sfardim either do it, but some Sfardim do have if they're able to afford these special software matzahs. The Sfardim Eretz Yisrael is cheaper. There's more people doing it. And that's the reason why it was much easier. I'm not saying it was the easiest. The Shulchan Aruch itself still has 3 levels, but it was easier in the times of Shulchan Aruch to do this. It was like a cake. It was soft. You could bunch it up together. It was an easier feat to do.
It's almost like doing pancake.
Our matzahs, this is not shaykh with our matzahs. The Rebbe didn't do this.
No way.
He just put the 2 matzahs on top like everyone else does and ate the matzah straight.
Just at a certain time, when you eat it, don't take your time. Just it is as
Well,
soon as
you have
possible.
6 minutes. You basically, you're good. Don't worry, you're going to be good. You're going to be good for 6 minutes. Besides, a lot of shittas hold that the only reason why you eat 2 really minat Torah, you only need to one kazais. Midrabanan, we're not sure which matzah the bracha goes on. Different shittas, so we have 2 kazais. So they say when it comes to the chilas matzah minat Torah, so that kazais you should have in the 6 minutes. But for the 2 kazaisim, midrabanan, so you can make on the shear of kedei chilas pras to be a longer shear, and they shear them up to like 10 minutes, 12 minutes. So if you go with that mahalich, the nice is if you're eating straight, you're going to be okay. You'll have to stuff
Yeah,
yourself.
in 3 minutes you could finish it. 3 to 4 minutes.
To Sant, I heard from people that were by the Rebbe Seder. I heard from Biel Khan. He said that the Rebbe, Pasha, eating the matzah, there was like, you just saw an appetite in the Rebbe. He had like an appetite. He just had like an appetite to eat the matzah. It was Pasha. So you saw in him, it was Pasha enjoyable. He was eating with an appetite. It was not something typical. You saw the Rebbe eating food with an appetite. It came to matzah, eating with an appetite, and his Rebbetzin was very concerned for the Rebbe. He didn't have teeth. The Rebbe, his teeth had fallen out, and the Rebbeim had a thing that was hidden reasons. They didn't want anything fake in the mouth. They didn't ever have any dentures or fake teeth. The Rebbe Rashab already has recorded that the Preshberger Rav, when he was in Preshberg, so he was staying in a spa or something. He was staying in a spa somewhere, and the Preshberger Rav was there from Preshberg, and the Rebbetzin Stern saw that the Rebbetzin went to him privately and said, "Please convince my husband that he should get, he has toothaches and he should get fillings, whatever." That what was recording then, what the Preshberger Rav's grandson wrote into Rebbe, it was recently a few years ago came to light. Our correspondence, the grandson, this Preshberger Rav, he lives in Lugano. He's an older person, lives in Lugano in Switzerland. He's a family member of Lubavitcher's. This cousin wrote into the Rebbe. This person wrote into the Rebbe saying Nicole, that the story that he had in Masoyed, but basically was that the Rebbe Rashab answered back that a Yid wants to stay rein for an Eibishter, and he wants to stay clean. It seemed to be that the Rebbe Rashab was worried about hot food, Yatzid boy, and things like that. But there's a letter from the Rebbe Rashab to the Frierdiker Rebbe privately, wrote to his son a letter, which is eventually published. He writes to him that Mitam Hayidu Allah, for reasons known to you, that I don't have anything in my mouth fake. The mice is, it was hard, difficult for the Rebbe to eat the matzah, and the maror, the Rebbe was very, very machor with maror. He ate tremendous amounts of maror.
The piece, not gone, the piece.
He would eat a whole. He would take a whole. He would take all the shredded. He would wrap it. He put a lot of shredded, a whole bowl. He would take it in his hands and put it and make a whole bowl of shredded maror. He would wrap it up in romaine lettuce, and then he would this bowl, a big bowl, and then he would take a chunk of it that was not shredded because there's a shita I never didn't explain, but I'm telling you the reason is because there's a shita, the Chavas Das, and his Haggadah. In his Haggadah called Maisa Nissim writes that it's brought in Mishabru and other poskim, but it's not accepted the halacha. But he said that shredded maror chrein takes away from the taste. It doesn't have that sharpness anymore, so it's not maror anymore.
You're not fully
So Maisa, it's not la halacha accepted, but because he wanted to be machmir, he took a big piece of the actual chunk and he stuck it in there too. And so you have this whole maror. So the Rebbetzin was very worried about it. So this part of the Seder, the Rebbetzins were in the kitchen, but the Rebbetzin would get up to the doorway of the kitchen. That's what I hear, to watch the Rebbe as how he's managing through the matzah and the maror. This is a difficult part of the Seder for him.
Sometimes when I eat it, the smoke comes out from my nose. That's a bad use. No, I'm trying to do
You must have had a good piece.
Yeah, it's like he's choking me so badly that I have to go outside to get fresh.
Okay, you gotta be careful. You can take remain.
That's the halacha.
No, I mean ikra then you can take remain lettuce. By the way, it's chazares. Where minig is that we take also some of the chrein with it, but to get some of the menidus.
If you grind it and put it in the fridge, somebody told me, for a couple hours before, when you get to the Seder, he has sharpened but not so strong anymore.
Okay.
So you could swallow it.
You can always rely on the. I know someone at Daled Kosos, he's very machmir mitzvahs. He has fillings. He has fillings. He's concerned that when he eats maror, the halach is a davar chorif, something sharp, in the din of Isser v'heter, basavachol, something sharp can bring out absorption of something. Something absorbed in a keli, even though it's not mamashas there. So even though you brushed your teeth before Erev Pesach, before the Zman of Bir Chametz, Soif Achilas Zman, you brushed it well, no more Chametz already, but he's worried that eating maror, sharp maror, the chrein is the davar charif is gonna pull out the absorption of Chametz in his fillings. So therefore, he only has remain.
So what happens if you just swallow it?
He only has remain. Later on, I saw a tshuva from Shlomo Zalman Auerbach about it. She wrote to the Chazon Ish about this Ingen, and he never got a tshuva about it. I think this is the first thing that he wrote to him, and he was upset. He felt bad that how come we never responded to him. And later on, he found out that the Chazon Ish told someone that this young man wants my tshuva, but he wrote such a beautiful tshuva himself. He doesn't need me to answer him. He knows what he has to do. But he wrote about a different explanation to say how it's mutter and there's no issue with the fillings to having the. This is a chumrah. You have to always remember what's a chumrah and what's the ikar halacha. The ikar halacha is not a problem. Shlomo Zalman explains B'Tuf Tam Badas why there's no issue in this issue. It shouldn't be an issue.
With the Pashpi Rebbe, with the Tif, with the Rebbe Rashav, is that the Rebbe didn't ask him to ask the Rebbe to please. So he said, it's a chshusha de chshusha. And he said, what's more scary? To Chad Shalom have what's more pain? To have a pain from the teeth or a pain that chshusha de chshusha that I'll eat
Yeah, this is not for everyone. This is for Rebbes. Simcha Falef. Mi she'enis shoyse yayin kol hashana. Someone does not drink wine an entire year because he does not like wine. Or wine is not healthy for him. There are people that are allergic to wine, right? Or doesn't bode well for them, wine. Stomach. After became chayiv litchik is asim Daled Kosos. He's chayiv to push himself to drink the Daled Kosos. Where Yisha Chacham Chazal said, Alam Yehuda Rabbi Loi, one of the Tanoim, Sheho Yishoy Sa'ar B'Koish Shel Pesach, and even though afterwards he had such headaches, after he took lach geretz dov, he had to wrap his head in the wrap, adat seres till Shavuos because he had a headache. But Maisa, we have to understand why he didn't drink grape juice. He wanted to be mehader, but al pi halacha you could drink grape juice.
There was no grape juice in that time. It's only now time grape juice.
You could squeeze the grapes. It's a Gemara talks about it. Soichet adam eshkel shel yayin mekadosh shalom. I'm not sure. If they look into the Mefarshim, you want to be machmer. The point is, a person that can drink wine should drink grape juice. If someone wants, definitely yayin is a mitzvah amufcher. So someone's able to drink wine, should be drinking wine. It's definitely a mitzvah amufcher to drink wine. Better to a whole year long. A whole year long. What's the inyan of having wine over grape juice? Because clear, because it's a better way to do the mitzvahs with something more chashuv, wine, that says in Paskim. But Meikar Din, you're 100% yoitza, it's not considered a b'diavad to be yoitza the grape juice. It's just not a mitzvah and a mufchar. So people try to make on wine if you could. If you can't, it bothers you making grape juice. If you want, what you could do is, you could pour a little wine into the grape juice. This way,
Mix.
you have a mix. And it's easier to drink it. And as well, there is a certain shita out there which holds that it's not accepted. L'maisa, the oilam is not knowing that way. That grape juice, the grape juice, the way it's made today, is not kosher for Kiddush. The Gemara clearly says that you could squeeze a cluster of grapes and make Kiddush on it. So why can't we have grape? That's what grape juice is. So why can't we make Kiddush on it? This shita explains that is because it's based on the Rashi over there that you have those grapes had an ability to ferment to become wine. Even though they're not wine, they had the ability to become wine. Masha'inki in the grape juice today, most of the grape juices they add sulfites into it, a certain chemical, and you'll see it on the bottle, it contains sulfites. You look closely in the labels now. Sulfites is something they use to control it, that it will not ferment. They don't want the grape juice fermenting. You want to buy grape juice, you're not buying wine. So if it's sitting in the company for a while, or sitting in the stores for a year, in the shelf, it might start to ferment. So they put in it sulfites, chemicals that do not allow it to ferment. So there's a das yochid out there, shitas, legitimate shitas, but they're not la halacha, they're not the majority, that held that yois, that the grape juice with the sulfites is not shaykhis to ferment. You're not yois the kiddush with it. It's nothing to do with Daled Kosos dafke. It's a whole year long. What my says, all of Klal Yisrael is not. Everyone holds you allowed to make kiddush on grape juice. And another thing that they bring down the name of Moshe Feinstein. It's not brought in his safe svarim. They quote in the name of a Haggadah that has his psakim of his. I've never been able to see this Haggadah. Maybe it was published by the children of Moshe Feinstein. They say that Moshe Feinstein said it's not an issue for a whole year long. It's an issue for the Daled Kosos grape juice because it's not derech cherus. Derech cherus means you're feeling a spirit of freedom. What freedom do you feel when you drink grape juice? It's like a juice. It's not a feeling, an uplifting feeling. You drink a cup of wine, feeling of cherustik, you feel relaxed, you enjoy it. It's not derech cherus. Drinking grape juice, this is juice. So also this sheet is not accepted. But l'maisa, if you pour a little grape juice in it, so I heard b'shem big poiskim that if you pour a little grape juice into it, I heard from people that make wine, the wine into the grape juice, it will remove the effects that the sulfites had, and it will be able to ferment if you pour a little grape wine into it. So that will help with that aspect. And maybe it helps also with how the derech cherus. You have it tasting a little bit. It's not just not tasting like regular grape juice. So if someone's able to, only if someone's able to, they pour a little wine to the grape juice. It'll be a little more mitzvah mufchar b'silmer. It's a little bit better. And if not, you go straight to the grape juice. The women and the children, no shaila about it. You go straight with the grape juice.
It says in the bottle of the grape juice these days, kosher for Arba Kosos.
Kiddush or other places.
That's why they write it. That's why they write that nusach on all the grape juices to let you know that
it's good. It's not
right.
Advertising.
I think the one who had the issue with the sulfites is of Shlomo Erbach, if I'm not mistaken. But the poil is not accepted. I don't know if he came down clear 100%. There's other issues by this. There's issues with concentrate grape juice. You shouldn't use concentrate grape juice because, which generally grape juice is not made from concentrate, but there are certain ones which will say in it like, you can see in the stores certain ones. Most of them are not. Certain types say concentrate, made from concentrate. It could be other shilas too because they add water. How does concentrate? Let's say they're shipping it from California. They don't want to ship all this grape juice. It's very expensive. So they boil out all the water. The left is with just the essence of the grape juice itself. And which, let's say 80% of it evaporates. They ship it to New York. In New York, they reconstitute it. They pour back water, the 80% water. That water they poured is not original natural water that was with the taken from the grapes. It's regular tap water. So the shaila is, how do we view this? This shaila gets in also to different mezainis, quote unquote mezainis breads and mezainis things, mezainis bread, what they quote unquote mezainis bread, besides for the shailas whether it's taka really mezainis bread, and I'm not going to get into the whole thing, but sometimes they're making it with apple juice, which is concentrated apple juice. Apple, it's all cheaper, so the companies want to use cheaper.
Then again, you use
cheaper.
water.
You look at the
So
ingredients.
once again,
So then you get into the shaila again. Is that really? Now it's no longer majority fruit juice because it has the water, or maybe we say no. Once you reconstitute it together, so it's back to being juice the way it was. You have a different way. There's different ways to look at it. You can look at it that way. You can look at it this way, and it's not clarity. So obviously, it's better that it should say not to concentrate the juice they're using. Whatever. That's just a side note. The mice is so we shouldn't use concentrate for grape juice, but it's not an issue. But in general, it's not an issue. It will look very different. The bottle usually that's from concentrate. The way what I recall, they have to write on it from concentrate. But cloud, there's no water added to. In general, there's no water. The companies do not add water to wine and grape juice.
What about that light?
In general, so if you want, you can add some water
Yeah.
to the wine and grape juice if you feel you need to. It's not going to make it no longer wine fit for kiddush or bari piangofen. It's still okay because I was mavarer by someone, the top person, the OK, there's a company called Royal Wine Company. Royal Wine Company makes most of the wines we have in America today. It's Kedem, Rashi, Baron Herzog, Fabrengen, all these are from there. He told me that there's no wine added into water added to any of the wines. He says sometimes there could be a little water left into the vats because they're cleaning, different things. He says if there would ever be wine, there would be only up to like maybe 2-3% wine, and anything more than that, they would have to write it down on the label. And he knows. He says only in Eretz Yisrael there were certain very cheap wines that they were diluting with water. But he could talk for this company, which is most of a lot of the wines that are out there. They're not at all diluting this with water at all, and the grape juice as well. He says they're not putting in water. It's not from concentrate.
What are sulfates in general? What are they?
What are they exactly? I'm not a scientist, but when I heard from one of the people in the kashrus organizations explain it to me that it's a certain chemical that they add to the grape juice and also to wine to stabilize it, shouldn't ferment more. Let's say you want to buy a 5% alcohol wine, you don't want it to be 6-7%, but it's sitting around for a while, it might ferment and gain a higher level alcohol content. So they put in this chemical
they
there.
put it in wine also.
Yeah. But the wine is already yain mashaker. The wine is already yain mashaker.
So why do they put it in wine if wine is already?
Because they don't want it to go higher. They want everyone, and people want their wine, their alcohol level. I want my 5%, I want my 6%, and my 30%. You know, the oilam. A lot of people are very into the different levels of alcohol they want. So
especially with wine.
you look at it. I don't see the wine bottles writing, the wine companies writing on it. I don't remember seeing it contains sulfites, but I see the grape juice bottles writing on it contains sulfites. I don't recall wine bottles saying on it contains sulfite, but maybe I'm mistaken.
I see that on wine bottles.
You do?
I don't drink grape juice. I don't drink wine.
Hey, you don't see it?
I do see it.
They do see it. Okay, it does say it.
This is how many alcohol is the wine? 13%, 9% in this.
A guy told me he can't drink wine. He makes his own grape juice, pesa time, enough for a whole year. You could buy what's called 3 pots. It's not that expensive. You could put, it's like 3 pots, one on top of the other. You can put it on your stovetop. In the top pot, you put clusters of grapes in there. And the way it works is, you put water in the bottom pot, and the water in the pot steams, hot steam into the grapes, and it makes the grapes drip out the juice. And the juice drips out. Now you don't want all the pieces and all the branches and all the clipper, the shell. You don't want the pieces. So it goes into the second pot, drips down through a filter. It has like a filter, like a little mesh, and it drips down into the second pot. In the second pot you have grape juice, and he takes it right away and he stores it properly in a way that it should. He says he stored it into glass bottles. He puts it in hot glass bottles. He pours the hot grape juice, and he seals it immediately. It stays good. He says for a whole year.
And this is good.
He had told me another eight. He said to me that if you pour hot grape juice into glass bottles, cold glass bottles, it can crack the glass bottles. So he heats up the glass bottles somehow, and then he pours it in. He has a whole system. The nice thing, you can buy it. It's very cheap. If you buy it and you have it on the stove, you can buy it. It's not that expensive at all. Maybe $40.
How much you make? Like 4 gallon, 10 gallon?
But if you want, but you have also ones that work on their own. They're like their own. You don't have to have it on your stovetop. You plug it in, and you have your own 3-piece thing. And that's more expensive, $100 or something. But it's sells out there. People make their own homemade grape juice. Okay, Sif Chav Beis. Oh, it's time for Ma'ariv. Okay, we'll just learn one more Sif. Avol Kiddush Shel Shayim Tovim. Kiddush of the rest of the year. Yom Tovim Mishabasim. Tzarech Lichtach Zatzim Lishas HaKois. You don't have to pressure yourself to drink the Kois. You can hear Kiddush to someone else. You don't have to drink the Kois Kiddush. You don't have to drink at all to be Yoitza. The fact that we take a sip from the Kiddush cup is a mitzvah min hamuvchar. You're Yoitza regardless whether you sipped or not. We have a big huge crowd and a big shul. We have a big Kiddush and the Rav makes Kiddush for the whole shul. They all start eating right away. They're all Yoitza. Just by hearing the Kiddush. Kiddush, you just need to hear. Mitzvah hamuvchar, to go and taste from it as well. But it's not. That doesn't affect your being yoytz to the kiddush.
No, but
even though the 4 cups of wine by Pesach, even though the family's hearing the kiddush and Haggadah from the balabayis, the host, the father, the host, Chazal said you have to drink it. Everyone needs to drink it on their own. The Daled Kosos. You each one around the table. It's not like Kiddush and Havdalah. We just yoytza by listening. You have to physically drink your own 4 cups of wine. Mike says once a year that came to Reb Chaim Salvechik, Reb Chaim Brisker, the Rav Brisk. He said to Reb Chaim he wants to know if he's allowed to be yoytza Daled Kosos with instead of wine, milk. So he realized, Reb Chaim realized what type of matzah this person is finding himself in. He can't have wine, and obviously he doesn't have meat either. He's not planning on having meat for Yom Tif because he's having milk and meat. So right away, the Reb Chaim made sure that after he left, he was sent home the whole entire Suda, Seder. The Rav has to know when he gets a Shaila what lies behind the Shaila. See, to make sure that everyone should always give to Mayis Chitim, Kimcha de Pischa, and to invite other people to the Seder. The same with the Nilsa V'dichasa, there's a famous nice with a guy, a Yid and a guy, there were two beggars. So the Yiddish beggar says to the Goyish beggar, you know, tonight is Pesach, it's an unbelievable meal, the Jewish people make a beautiful feast. If you come with me, you're going to have a beautiful feast. He said, how do I do it? He said, don't worry, you make believe you're a Jew, you come, we'll put on a yarmulke, we'll go to shul. The way it was, the minig was in those days, was after davening, in shul, people would go around and invite the guests and the people, the travelers and the poor people that didn't have a place where to eat, invite them to come to eat a meal. So you're going to wait there and someone will take me, take you, and we'll go. So one got taken by one balabas and the guy went to another balabas. And the guy is sitting by the Seder. Anyways, it's beautiful, it's set, it's unbelievable. Looks at the table, silverware, he's mamish getting ready for the feast. He heard all about it already. One time a year he's going to have his dinner. And they serve him a cup of wine. It's what a gewaltic way to start a meal, a glass of wine. This is really a good start. The problem is right after the glass of wine, they hand them a book. And they start mumbling and reading the book for an hour. It's never ending, this book. They're pouring, they're doing this, they're doing that. There's no... And finally they get to drink the wine. Okay, we get to drink the wine, we're getting to the meal. They hand him some hard crackers. It's mamish like, what's going on over here? Okay, the crackers is probably we're going to get to the meal now. They give him some the mutter to eat. He doesn't know what it is. He thinks this is maybe the salads, the appetizers. Takes a good bite of the mutter, and he was like Shmuley Greenwald described. He was all on fire. So mice is what happened to the story was told about the meal. It's starting to sound like one big baba mice. And finally, okay, wait a little bit longer. Now they give him both the hard cracker with the bitter together. You have to eat it all together. And he picked himself up and ran out of the house. He said, what a lie. This guy told me such baba mice and a liar. The next day he met his friends. Friends said, how did you enjoy the beautiful meal? He said, you're a liar, a shakrin, whatever you are. Nishgavus is a shakrin. But he told him, he said, what happened? He told him the story. He told him, if you would have waited just one more minute, you would have gotten to the Suda. Anyway, it should be a Chag Kosher Sameach, Kosher for the Pesach. Next week, Monday, Rabbi Imraz is going to be giving the Shir, Mr. Hashem.